I just realized I'm wearing the same color shirt under the same color jacket. We're just gonna roll with it.
True North Reviews, True North Reviews, True North Reviews.
Hey there, welcome to True North Reviews. My name is Ryan, and today we are discussing the Tim Heidecker album, Fear of Death. Political, comedic, now turned pseudo-serious musician, Tim Heidecker is an American actor, writer, and director, most notably recognized for his Adult Swim TV series that he's created alongside Eric Wareheim. The two have been credited with a handful of productions dating back to the 2000s. I can't speak very much towards them because I haven't seen them, but what I did find fascinating upon researching Tim a decade later was his bit part role that he played in a season 5 episode of Community, and he ended up snagging a spot on The Simpsons for a minor voice credit too. So obviously Tim has some sort of connection in the acting world. If you want to go to Hollywood, clearly he is someone you want to befriend. Not making any friends though is Heidecker when it comes to his music, as Tim has written his share of parodies to mock and criticize Donald Trump after his 2016 presidential victory. On the flip side, Heidecker has also supported politicians through his parody jingles, and I just get this sense that Tim is very sardonic when it comes to his humor, as that certainly remains a part of the conversation with Fear of Death. Now, his previous record, What the Broken Hearted Do, was trending in this cynical direction, while it was simultaneously praised for its rawness and profundity regarding breakups. And it was maybe at this point Tim decided to abandon the sheer reactive response, the divisiveness as it were, and instead started to chase acclaim with genuine musical statements. As I'm saying this, I am having a tough time pinning down Tim's objectives, whether his music is meant to be absurdist or more serious. It's incredible how he seems to hit the nail on the head with every grim topic under the sun. Now, much like his comedy projects, Tim is operating under a collaborative process with Fear of Death. He has enlisted the likes of Jonathan Rado of Foxygen fame, calling upon Wiseblood for her vocal complement, and even bringing on one of her producers, Drew Erickson, who pretty much hones in the expansive aspect of this record. Not only is this album a sonic reflection of those musicians, but it plays into the hand of Heidecker's lyrical content. Very much a collaborative concept record of sorts. Serious in tone, but critical of life and people in general. The first song on this record that is sure to get people humming the melody in their heads is called Come Away With Me. This is a track that is a blast from the past. It's like this roots rock sounding song straight out of the 70s. I love the production with the horns, but this is a catchy song with a side of dorkiness to the lyrics. We can raise a family and make our own cheese. The city's hot and it stinks. I don't care what everyone thinks. There's a part of me that sees a similarity to David Wilcox and his song Bad Apple, Canadian rock artist comparison there. Almost like there's this sense of naivety and oh shucks type attitude. Without a doubt, Come Away With Me is the most happy-go-lucky song on this project. Quickly throwing the happiness and optimism aside, I mean, it wasn't going to be all rainbows and sunshine as depicted by the album artwork. After all, there are the words Fear of Death sprawled across the sky. And right on cue, the critical scope of the world shines through on the title track. As any good title track for a concept record does, it holds the lyrical themes dear to its heart. This record in particular, death, regret, and existentialism, elegantly capturing the essence of 2020 in a nutshell. Of course, another big part of 2020 is the fact that it is an election year down south of the border, and Tim, we knew he couldn't shy away from a political narrative. Although not blatant, the political undertones are appreciated in their small dose as they appear on the track Backwards, which is like this 2-part folk ballad, a good balance between new and repetitive material. The structure of the song is fresh and supports the picturesque imagery of the lyrics. Basically, as soon as the fields are filled with the golden rays of the sun sets as it's time for the bald eagles to move to Canada. as in the Americans who want to escape the clutches of political unrest, and possibly even this corruption of innocence is even playing a factor into it as well. See, it's more poetic and in the eye of the beholder, rather than just that typical brand of politics that Tim plays. Keeping his listeners on their toes, Heidecker pivots into a topic of love, or possibly lost love on the cut, someone who can handle you, and this is a gorgeous track. It is sweeping and sprawling with its production, and in turn, it is sonically deceiving. You think it could be ideal for like the first dance at your wedding, but don't let the string instrumentation and the lingering guitar solo fool you. This is quite the opposite, actually. An anti-wedding song, if that was a thing. Instead, maybe this song is meant to be a love letter to the future version of your spouse after the inevitable divorce, but you're still trying to remind that person of the good times before your marriage failed. A very complex and convoluted situation to drum up, but Tim does it well. What can I say? Adding to his musical repertoire and his songwriting ability, Heidecker pens a couple piano-driven tracks in the form of Nothing and Property. The former bleak and dreary with its outlook on the world, again playing into the cynical nature of Tim's philosophy as he exclaims, "If you see me in heaven, just let me be." So even beyond the grave, Tim can be a selfish jerk. However, what the telltale sign is, that comes through on the song Property, where it's not only the dead that want to be left alone, it's the people on Earth who are trying to accomplish the same by accumulating their own land. On the track, Heidecker comments on cemeteries and people buying that property to jam in as many skyscrapers as possible, with coffee shops and parking lots going up left, right, and center. All of that coming at the oblivious cost of disrupting or possibly interfering with the buried bodies beneath, that were previously respected. Not any longer, as Tim makes it quite clear that he is poking fun at people for their greed and this monetary gain on the song Property, especially with his haunting comparison to stealing Native American land. I know there's a lot of interpretation that needs to be made, but this song is a treasure trove for lyrical analysis. It's so subtle and artistically brilliant how Heidecker conveys his cynicism. Applying that same mindset to even the Beatles cover of Let It Be, yeah, that's possible, as Tim shines through with a new light and creates a new interpretation of the song, letting it be for not only the sake of someone else, but for yourself. Sonically, yes, it is a traditional Beatles cover, not just a faithful rendition though, as there's like this folksier spin put on it with a quicker pace and new creative delivery of the hook. If you're trying to imagine what this sounds like, picture the original with steel guitar, less piano, and a brisker pace. That's what Tim's cover is. Now, the Beatles' influence on this record doesn't stop there, as the opening track, Prelude to Feeling, is very similar to like a Sgt. Pepper stage setter. Tim and Wiseblood tell the listener to sit back in their favorite chair, saying that they're working on something new, they can't wait to show it to you, we hope that you love it too. Sound familiar? Of course, instead of giving us Beatles songs, Tim and Wiseblood share folksy, lush, and beautiful songs. Wiseblood in particular brings a lot of color and harmony to the table. Tim is mostly contributing melody, but Wiseblood gets her moment to shine on the closing track, Oh How We Drift Away. This song sounds like a B-side of Titanic Rising, and not in a bad way, because that is the record that's like the king of scenic and pretty atmospheres. Fantastically though, Fear of Death is an improvement in my eyes. I know they're different aesthetically, but Fear of Death is incredible. It truly is. Overall, this record, it has so much going for it. Melodically, it's superb. I came away humming a different tune each and every listen. I thoroughly enjoyed pretty much every minute and every moment that this album had to offer, with the exception of Little Lamb, whose passenger-esque melody left something to be desired. I was still blown away by the rest of this album, if you just forget about that song. Additionally, the performances between Wiseblood and Heidecker are well-groomed, polished, and refined. Mind, Nothing, and Property being the definitive vocal showcasing of talent and chemistry between the two. On top of that, the production is commendable. There's a range of folk rock arrangements on here, yet it's all very cohesive. Moreover, there's timeless and incredible songwriting on this record. I could hear a variety of influences over the years from rock, whether it is the piano-driven pop of the 70s or the folksy roots of the 60s. This album has a good chance of being a classic, and I hate that description, but it's deserving of that. With all that praise, the last point I want to make is be wary of the mix of comedy and serious lyrical themes. You might not be able to separate the two and find the subject matter extremely pessimistic, but like Stephen Hawking once said, life would be tragic if it weren't funny. So there's a subtle ironic humor to this record, and as serious as it is, there's something witty about it too. So all that being said, I'm feeling a 9 out of 10 on Tim Heidecker's Fear of Death. There is the album review for today. Now make sure you guys sound off down below in the comments. Tell me what you're thinking of this music, whether you agree or disagree. I'm here to engage with you guys. If you'd like to leave a like, subscribe if you're new in town, I'd appreciate that very much. As always, thanks for watching and have a rockin' day.